Hi you guys, welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about something that I think every homeschooler encounters and kind of my thoughts on ways to overcome it, or at least not have it affect you quite as much as it potentially can. I would love it if you guys shared down below in the comments once you watch the video kind of your thoughts about this, or if you have any tips. That way, if someone who is struggling with this in their decision making, they see this video, they can read the comments and feel really supported. So that's the goal behind this video. So I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts, but I love opening it up for discussion, so leave it down below. So I got a request to make this video from one of you guys out there asking me how to deal with family that is not supportive of your decision to homeschool. And I want to, of course, I don't want to just say, well, who cares? It's your life, it's your kids, do what you want, and who cares what other people think, right? That's our standard answer. But the truth of the matter is, what your family members, especially if you have a close family, think of you or tell you can affect you and your friends as well, but we're going to focus more on family in this video. So I don't want to just be like, well, who cares? It's your house. You got to live your life for yourself, because obviously if a person is reaching out asking that, it's because they're struggling with not letting it affect them. So I wanted to just give you guys a few little tips on ways to kind of deal with that situation, because it is hard. Number one is, I think, try not to take it personally. A lot of people have misconceptions about homeschooling, what it used to be, a horror story they heard. Maybe they're really fearful of different things, but try not to take it as a personal thing towards you, because usually it's just more of they don't understand it, or they don't have all the facts, or they're misinformed, and that kind of leads to their issue with your decision. So try taking yourself out of it personally, instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, they think that I can't do this, or they think I'm making a bad decision. Try to think of it maybe objectively as they might just not have all the information. They might not understand. They might have this old friend from way back when who was a total weirdo, and they're worried about your kids falling into that. So try to not take it personally is my tip number one. Tip number two is kind of how I started the intro, but try to remember that your life is your own story, and your kids were uniquely given to you, and there is no one on the face of the earth who knows your kids better than you. So if you feel led to homeschool, if you feel led that this is the best educational avenue for your child for whatever reason, trust your instincts as their mother or father. Trust yourself enough to make that decision for them, regardless of what other people think, because other people don't know the situation at the depths that you do, if that makes sense. They don't know your child as deeply as you do. And so no one is going to be able to assess your child and whether this is the right direction for your family better than you can for yourself. So trust your instincts, and think about those things is my tip number two. Tip number three is to allow your life to speak for itself. I've witnessed this myself in my own homeschooling journey. Now, we didn't have anybody who was loudly objecting, but I definitely feel like a lot of people, when I shared the news with them, that this was what we were going to be doing, or I couldn't do this anymore because I was going to be homeschooling, or whatever it was, people were caught off guard. They were surprised, but I think over time they have seen the benefit that it's had on my children, the benefit that it's had on our family as a whole, and they've seen that my kids have not turned into, you know, these strange recluses, and they, you know, they want to share what they've been learning about. And, you know, I think just allowing your life and your children to speak for itself is also a great way to deal with family members who might be doubting you. They might have their doubts, and that's okay. Like I said, that doesn't need to influence your decision. And once you make your decision, let it speak for itself. You know, don't make it a point to every time you see grandpa have your child spouting off 25 facts in his face. But if it just organically comes up, and it will, over time, those doubts that your family members have will dissipate, because they are seeing that your children are flourishing. Another tip that I have for you with dealing with this situation is to set some boundaries. I feel that it's very important to listen to your family members, to let them know that you appreciate their concern, if it's coming from a place of love and if they're doing it in a respectful manner. But I do think it's important for you to say, you know, Mom, I really, really value your opinion, and I know you love your grandkids, and I'm really thankful that you do. But me as their mom, I've just got to make this decision because I feel like it's something that's been placed on my heart. And I don't think it's a good idea to put your child's whole, you know, their struggles or whatever reasons for homeschooling out there. I don't really feel like you need to give people all your reasons at you know, because that comes off as being very defensive and feeling like you need to defend yourself. But I think just validating their feelings, saying thank you for your concern, you know, I appreciate that, but we're still gonna go ahead and do this. We feel like it will really benefit us. Keeping it short and sweet is a great way to deal with family members, because you don't need to give your whole personal story away to even your closest family members, or your child's personal story away. You guys will notice that I've never really fully shared like details of why, portions of the reason why we started homeschooling, because I don't want that out there for the world to know. And so I think it's important to have those boundaries with your family members too. And the last tip I have for you is to just, even when you're not feeling all that confident, to not allow people's thoughts and opinions to rattle you. And it can, and that it's really, really hard, but you just have to remember that if you're feeling led, if you're wanting to do this, that you know your child best, like I said, and you really have to not let other people's thoughts and opinions sway you, because you might later come to regret that. This is your life. These are your kids. You only get to do this one time. We don't get do-overs. We don't get last week back. We don't get a year ago back. Once the time is gone, it's gone. And so if you're feeling led, I would way rather deal with a few negative opinions from family members than deal with knowing that I didn't do what I felt was best for my child, and they potentially suffered, or this happened, and then live in a life of regret. So if you're feeling nudged, follow that. The family will come along second, and remember that this is your life and your child. So I hope this video helps you or encourages you in your situation out there, or any of you guys who are facing this. It is really hard, but I know from experience that over time, those issues and worries dissipate away, and you can do it in love and respect. Everyone is not always going to agree with your decisions, especially when they are not the norm, and you just have to be okay with not being the norm. So I hope you're encouraged. I hope this helps you. Share your stories down below so if anybody comes across this video, they can read those comments and maybe your comment will be the thing that speaks to their heart in that moment. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for helping me make this homeschooling community a place of support here on YouTube. And to the person who reached out to me, thank you for requesting that I make this video. I think it will hopefully help a few other people out there and not just yourself. So you're not alone in your struggle. Just remember that. Bye, guys.